today's topics, we're going to start with just going over access to chat. And the topic is chats and rooms. Rooms are part of chat. It's just a different way of interacting with folks. That's all it is. So I'm going to go over the differences between the two, and then we're going to talk about messaging and participation in chats and rooms, and kind of weigh the pros and cons between conversing just via a chat or actually creating a room in order to collaborate. So it's not too, again, nothing is like spreadsheets. So again, I don't think it's going to be too much of a mental load. It's just something you're going to have to weigh whether or not it's helpful for you to use. And today, again, just reviewing our Google basic icons, the Waffle, which is where you find all of your apps, chat included. When you see the 3 vertical dots or the 3 vertical lines, we call them the kebab or the hamburger, and usually that just means more options. There's always more options, and sometimes those are hidden. So I'll be showing you those. There are quite a few hidden options. The question mark, that's where you'll find help or to send feedback, and then the gear, which is where you will find settings. So with chats and rooms, there are 3 ways that you can get to chat. The first is when you go on your Google Apps Waffle, then you scroll down a little bit and the icon for it is the overlapping speech bubbles, the green speech bubbles. That's chat. Don't look for rooms. Like I said, rooms is a part of chat. So just look for chat. You can actually include a chat section in your Gmail. I'm not sure if it's been enabled for everyone, so I did include some directions on how to enable that. I have it set up in my Gmail, so I could immediately just start a side message with someone if I'm not reaching them right away with email, right? Because we never know when folks are going to see things. So I'll go over how you know when people are available in chat. And then the third way to access it is just to type or go to the URL chat.google.com. And that will open it up for you. So there is a quick tour, and there are actually 2 quick tours. The first one is when you are in chat view. And you'll see this live in just a moment. So I'm going to start at the top left. The top, you see what looks like a search bar, and it even has a magnifying glass, and it says find people, rooms, and bots. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not going over bots. I don't even know why they're useful. I've heard that other platforms use them. We're going to leave that out of here. No one needs to find any robots or bots. So we're going to talk about finding people and rooms, but that is where you click to start a chat with someone. And then the person that you're chatting with, their names will show up at the top. And you'll see right underneath a participant's name, a little circle. And if it's shaded in green, that means that they are active. Whoops, that means that they're active right in the moment. So if I sent someone who's active a message, chances are they'd see it immediately and be able to reply. If the bubble is not shaded in, then that means that they've stepped away from the computer, and it's essentially an email you're sending them. When you click on the drop-down arrow next to a participant's name, then you'll see chat options, and we're going to talk about some of those options later on. So just know, and I think you can already tell, there are drop-down arrows. You'll see the kebab. There are definitely extra options, and you have to be comfortable hovering and clicking around to see what's available. So going over to the right, this is the actual search bar to search within chats. So the magnifying glass that looks like a search box on the left, that's how you start a chat. To actually search, that's on the right. And there's our settings gear. And instead of a question mark for help, they have an option to send feedback, and that's the speech bubble with the exclamation mark. All right, so that's the quick tour of chat. And again, we're going to unpack this as we move along. So I want you to know what's within the settings gear, because it's the only time we're gonna talk about it. And it's something that you set up really once, probably, unless you find that you're getting annoyed with the number of notifications you're getting. So the chat settings are where you can set up if you want sounds, if you want pop-ups on your desktop, and if you want email notifications. That's where you can set all of that up. If you're someone that wants to get notified right away, like I need a sound to get interrupted, this is where you would make that setting change. I do not believe it's a default to have those notifications on. All right, so when we go into chat, I'll show you those settings. So how to create a chat. So in chat, you can send a message to just one person, or you can send it to multiple people. Just keep in mind that with chat, these are private conversations, and I'm probably going to bring this up later when we talk about rooms. That's a big difference. With chat, once you initiate a conversation with one person or a set of people, you cannot add people in later on. Whatever has been talked about is private. That's it. So that might be a deciding factor for you and whether or not you want to use a chat or a room. And like I was showing you in the quick settings, what you do to initiate the chat is that you click in that bar that says find people, rooms, and bots. You first click on that, and then you'll see the option to start a group conversation. Even if it's just one other person, that's the button that you click. And you can start that conversation with someone within WCCUSD, or you can send a message to someone outside of our organization as well by entering their address. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. I can't go to the next slide for some reason. Okay, there we go. All right, so let me go out and go into my own chat. Okay, so let me go to my Darcy student chat, because again, it's kind of hard. I'm trusting everyone in the room, because yes, you will be able to see snippets of conversations, and so yes, I'm being a little vulnerable here, but I trust everyone in the room. But yes, I did make a practice chat. Let me start with settings in the upper right corner. So here is where you can modify the notifications. So again, here I have decided that I need a sound. If you don't like the dinging sound, then uncheck that. I do not like emails constantly. So unless someone is directly messaging me with something important, I do not want that email. So you can change, turn that off or on. Smart reply, I think that's when they give you suggestions of what you might say. Sometimes it's nice to use. And then if you want to block people, we'll talk about that later. You can block in there too. But essentially, the settings are where you want to start by setting up your notifications. Chat is not helpful for you if you do not know you're receiving messages. So to start a chat, and you'll notice down here with rooms, there's a plus sign. And the plus sign is usually where we make things in Google, right? Not with chat. You have to click on that search bar on the left and click Start Group Conversation. And here is where I just start typing people's names. So if I want to start a message with Laurie, I just type in her name, and anyone who is in our organization is going to come up. If I wanted to start a conversation with someone, who was not in WCCUSD, then I'd just have to type in their email address. So I'll just put in Darcy student again. There we go. Check. Okay. So this is my chat area. And up here, I can see that Darcy student is away. So if I sent Darcy student a message right now, she's not going to see it. Notifications are not going to help. The green bubble means that person is active. So I can see down here, I'm looking at Ennis's bubble. Ennis is here with us in the meet. His bubble is green. If I sent him a message, he'd see it right away. And in fact, last week I sent him a message and he got back to me right away. So it's a nice way of piggybacking off of your email function. So if I want to send a message, I start down here at the bottom, this gray bar, and it says history is on because it's going to preserve a history of this conversation. And again, it's private. If I wanted to add someone else right now, what it will do is I could click view members and see this plus sign here. If I try to add someone else, it's going to start a new chat. So that's why I was telling you, if you think that you're going to start a conversation with someone and other people might need to be added in later on, that's when you would want to switch into rooms. So this is, or I'll just say, it is Friday. Yay. Now, if I wanted to put in emojis, I could click the emoji button here and it pops some up. If I wanted to import a file or a picture, I could add that. So that upload, that up arrow means upload. So I'm uploading something from my computer. This drive icon allows me to share files from my Google Drive. And if I wanted to, I could even start a video chat. So it's pretty cool, all of the things that you can do within your chat. So let me go back to our slide deck and let's see, I've got all my Zoom bars all over the place. Okay, so I kind of covered a little bit of this current slide, which was just letting you know that you can edit the text in your conversation. You can add files or an emoji. You can actually even, I didn't show you this, you can send a message via email and you can start a Google Meet. It has been such a lifesaver to go back and edit things that I sent. I wish I could do that with text messages on my phone. So it's really great. And with Gmail, you do have the ability within, I think 30 seconds is the max, to click undo or unsend and fix something in your Gmail. You don't have a time issue in chat. You can go back and edit what you typed anytime. So that is very cool. So that's the overview of chat. It's basically so easy and straightforward to use. Now, the difference between group messages, which would be the chat group messages, and rooms is pretty much an access difference. So with group messages, like I said, the biggest difference here is that you cannot add or remove anyone. It's stuck in group messages with chat. But if I start a room, I can add or remove anyone at any time. The other thing that is really powerful about, I think, the rooms is that you can have what are called threaded conversations. That's where you have different topics, right? Different threads. And it keeps things so organized. When you're in a regular group message chat, it just shows just like text messages on your phone. Can't sort anything out. It's just in one long stream and you just got to scroll up or down to find what you need. So I really like rooms for the reason of keeping topics organized. I'm not going to go through all of the differences, but I highlighted the ones that I think are influencing your decision in red. So the fact that if you create a room, and you add someone in there, but then they decide that it's not relevant for them, they can leave. They have the ability to walk out that door, and they also have the ability to walk in that door again if they want. So they can leave and rejoin as necessary. And with rooms, you can include people outside your organization. Sorry, with the group, you cannot. So that is a difference too with rooms. All right, so let me go back just one more time into the chat so that you can see. So here again, it's just like a text on my cell phone. It's just going to show me the dates. I would have to scroll up and down to see the different dates and the different, what we talked about. But there is no way for me to organize anything by subject. To add another text message or a chat, I just click on the bottom, I type it in, and it adds to the queue. Here is another message. It just keeps adding. Now, if I want to edit it, I just hover over what I typed. And here are those other options that I didn't show before. So the envelope with the arrow on it, I can send that message. If something comes up, either I wrote it or someone else wrote it, and I want a reminder, I can send that to my inbox. So right now it's forwarding it. When I go check my Gmail, it's going to show me this message from chat. And this is really helpful if someone sends me a link or a resource. That way, it's a reminder. It's a way I can store it and keep it in my Gmail and maybe pass it on if I need to. Now, if I wanted to edit, there's the pencil. I click on that. And here I can add pictures or other text, whatever I want to do. And let's see, I didn't change anything. There we go. I'll update it. And if I wanted to delete it, I have the option to do that with the trash can. I cannot delete other people's messages, but I can delete my own. All right. So now we're going to talk about rooms. And the options you have in rooms are a little different. So that's why I have two different quick tours in here. Some things are the same, right? So for example, the search and the settings and sending feedback, that's all the same. What is different is, for example, to start or create a room. To create a room, I would click the plus sign. So I don't go up here. This is to initiate chat. But to create a room, I click on the plus sign that's just directly across from the word room. And then when I am in that room, the name will appear on the upper portion of my screen. And when I click on the drop-down arrow, I have a different set of room options. And we're going to go into those in more depth. At the bottom, instead of seeing the gray chat bar, the message bar, you're going to see new thread in practice room. And that is where you have the opportunity, or it'll say new thread in, and then your room. That's where you have the opportunity to start a new conversation topic. And once you have a conversation going, you don't have to use that new thread piece. You can just hop right in to one of the other parts of the conversation, one of the other threads, and add to that. Okay, so before we get into the actual chat room, let's just break things down a little bit. So again, to create a room, you scroll down past where it says chats, and then right next to rooms on the right, you'll see a green plus sign, and you click on that, and you're going to enter a room name. So if you're the one creating the room, and this is something that you definitely might want to do when you are in your breakout room, you're going to enter the room name. And then that's where you're going to enter the names of the emails of the people of the groups you want to add. Now, my recommendation for you is that you always.
He's gonna. You just come on.
Here we go. My recommendation is that you always use threaded replies. Otherwise, it's, the benefit of being able to separate the conversation into different topics is not there, and you might as well just use a group message. So I highly recommend it, but you cannot change your mind on it. So if you create a room and you forget to click that, you just need to, close that room out and start another one. Click, and then when you're done, you just click create. Okay, so let's see. Oh, whoops, I went really far ahead. Oh, no, I did. Okay, so let's go into our chat now. So I was up here, showing you my practice chat with Darcy student. To get to rooms, I just scroll down. And I already created a practice room. If I wanted to create another one, I just click the plus sign. Here's where I'd enter that room name. So practice room 2. And then I would start adding people's names. I can add as many as I want, and then I would select use threaded replies. I'm going to go ahead and cancel that because I don't want to involve Lori in yet another room, because I did set up a practice room, but that's the process. Now, if you're not setting up a room, but you have been invited to a room, this is where they will show up. And then you just click on the particular room to open it. Now, notice when I hover over the room, just like in the chat up here, you'll see the kebab appear, which just means more options. So in the practice room, I have more options, and we're going to talk a little bit about pinning, and we'll talk about leaving and blocking in a little bit. All right, so you'll notice in the practice room, so I already have a couple of messages in here. And this is where it looks different from chat, because like I was saying at the bottom, it gives me the option to start a whole new topic, which is called a thread. Or I can just continue a prior thread by replying to whatever is already posted. And just like in chat, I have the same options here. So you'll see I can edit, I can add emojis, I can delete. I can add a video conference, I can upload, I can add things from Google Drive, okay? Can't wait to show you the search options in this. It's so exciting. In some ways, I really like this format of collaborating with others rather than just going through Gmail. It's a beautiful collaboration space, and outside of my Google Drive. So if you're working on a team with others, this is the place to be. Okay, so as I said, one of the benefits of the rooms is that you can add or remove people to the room. And they also have the ability to come and go. But the way that you add people, it's really easy. All you have to do is use the @ and type in their name. And if it's someone in WCCUSD, it's immediately going to recognize them. You'll recognize their email address, and it will invite them in. So they'll get an email notification that they were mentioned in a chat, and immediately they're able to join the discussion and view everything that's been going on. So remember, if you need privacy, stick with a chat, a group chat or a one-to-one chat. If you want to be able to add people later on as topics become relevant to others, use a room. Okay, so the way to, let's see, I think I got that. Yeah, so you can invite people to join a room by email, putting in their email address, or just use @ in a conversation. To remove members from a room, that's where we're going to use that drop-down menu. And you have an option to view members, and you'll see all of the members. And then again, when you hover over someone's name, you'll see the kebab icon again, more options, and you'll see the ability to remove that person from a room. Now, if you want to permanently remove someone from a room, then we will talk a little bit about blocking. Okay. Now I'll hop back out in a second to chat so you can see it in action, but to join or to leave a room, that's where you would click on find people or rooms where you initiate a chat. And when you hover there, instead of creating a room, you're going to scroll down to where it says browse rooms. You would click that, and then you would be able to see all of the rooms you had been invited to. And then you can opt whether or not to join that room. You also have the ability, once you're in the room, to leave it And just again, look for the kebab, which means more options. So let's go out and do that. Okay, so whoops, adding or removing people from a room. So if I wanted to add someone here and I put @ notice right away someone's email address pops up. I can type anyone in our organization and it's automatically going to bring up their profile, and I can select add to room. I don't even have to know their email address. I just put in, their first name or the last name, and hopefully there aren't any duplicates in the district. We should be able to figure that out. But then I would be able to add that person to the room. Now, to see who's in the room, then I would click on the drop-down menu arrow right next to the name of the room and select View Members. And I have to hover to see, hover over the person's name to see those 3 dots appear. That's the More option. And here I would select, if I want to remove them, I can select Remove them from the room. All right, so now I want to add them again. Let's see if it's gonna, I'm gonna click Add to Room, done, and I can send a message. Enter. Okay, so, and it's telling me that it's going to send a message to Darcy's student and tell them that they are invited or part of this chat room now. So that's the other way of doing it. If you go to the drop-down menu again and click View Members, and you click the Add, that's the other way that you can invite people to join, is just sending them that invitation. All right, so I think, did I cover everything on that slide? Let me make sure. Join or leave a room. Oh, I didn't show you how to leave a room. So let me go back. Okay, let's see. Let me pick something. The securely rollout. Okay, so there we go. There it is. If I hover on the 3 dots, so here are the 3 dots on the sidebar. So I have to select that particular room, hover on the 3 dots, and then it gives me the option to leave, but it says I can always return. Okay, so that's where that option is. Okay, let me go back to my practice room. And let's go back to the slide deck. Okay, so one thing that's great, again, about rooms is that you can chat about different topics. And I think I already covered this, but I'll just go over it again. So different topics are just called threads. And so all you have to do, in fact, I don't think I have to hop out to show this because I already did, but you just select whatever room you're participating in. And at the bottom of the screen, that's where you click New Thread. You enter your message just like you did in chat, and you click Send. But one other thing that you can do is you can send a direct message to one or more of the people that are in that room. And that's really cool because maybe you want to have just an aside that only that person sees instead of everyone in the group seeing it. So for example, if you're working with a couple parents and maybe 2 classroom teachers all together in a group, then maybe you just want to send a message that the teacher sees, but not the parents. This would be the way to go. So again, you look for the drop-down menu under the name of the room, and you're going to select View Members. Just like I showed you a second ago where how you remove someone from a room, you click on Message, and then you'll be able to send a direct message to that room member. Okay, so the drop-down menu right next to the room name, I click View Members. I hover over that name. I click on the 3 dots, I click message, and then whatever message, I don't know if it's going to let me do it because I'm only chatting with one person here. Let's see. I don't know. Let's see if I can do it. Oh, that's right. I would need a different practice room. Let's see if I can do one. I think I feel safe with the securely rollout. Okay. So let's see. I'm going to view members. And let's say I want to message Laurie, but not everyone else. So there we go. So it's going to allow me just to message Laurie and not anyone else. That's what it's supposed to do anyway. Okay, so let's see. Multiple conversations done. Now, blocking or inactivating a room. Hopefully the blocking part you're not going to need. I've had a couple occasions where I think kids inadvertently invited me to a room. And I was getting notifications like every 15 minutes. They were doing this during class time too, so I had to reach out to their teacher. So there are things, let's just say many of our sites have decided to not allow kids to use chat. So, at some of your sites, this has been completely turned off for them. Again, it's a site-to-site decision. But for staff, you're not going to have that issue. But chat with a student is not necessarily going to be an option. So you cannot delete a room. Once you've created it, all you can do is change its name so that it says no longer active or something like that. Or maybe leave a message at the bottom that says final conversation, the room is no longer active. You can block a room. So for example, the one with the kids, I can go into that room name, I can select the 3 dots for more options, and I can select block room. As far as the other rooms go that I'm not really using anymore, I just personally know they're not being used. No one has ever gone in and changed the name, but if you needed to, that's the way to do it. You can't delete them. So let's go in and take a look at that. In fact, I think I have some chat rooms still with kids. I was looking yesterday when I was making this slide deck. So if you're searching for a room, or you think you've been invited to a room, you would click Browse Rooms. So here are some of the kids. I have not looked at the unblocked songs, but I have no idea how I was involved in these rooms, I'm telling you. But this one, so without joining it, and clicking the plus sign would enable me to join it, I can click Preview, and I can take a look, and I can see what these kids are talking about. And I am not going to join the room. Because I did not join the room, I cannot block it. So I'll show you with my practice room. If I wanted to block it, I'm going to click on the 3 dots, and here it is. And I'm going to click, if I wanted to, I would click block room. Then I'm basically done not participating in that room. I have not tried it yet, but I'm assuming that's gonna work. Now, as far as just changing the name of the room, so if I wanted to say this room was inactive, that's found in the drop-down menu next to the room name. There we go. Edit name and emoji, so I can change the name of this room and just call it inactive so that all of the members know, like inactive as of 5/7/21. So even though they will not be able to delete it from the list, they will know it is inactive. And the way the rooms are organized is that the most recent activity, the room with the most recent activity will bubble up to the top. So after a while, if you're not involved in a room, it's gonna just be at the bottom of the list and you probably won't see it anyway. So it only shows a certain number of rooms at a time. You just won't see it after a while. Okay, yay, we're right on time. There's only a little more. And that might be, let's see if we're on search. No, 2 more topics.
Dorothy?
Okay, so yes.
There was one question in there. If you block it, can you unblock it?
That's a good question. And because I haven't tried it, you know what? I will try it after I'm done with this presentation. I am wondering if you can unblock. You know what? Let me see. I do have my Google search. Okay, block a room. Yes, it says it's in settings under blocked room, click manage blocked rooms. Okay, let's try it. I'm glad you asked. I didn't want to mess with it, but let's go ahead and do it because now I know how to do it. So I won't be invited, I won't show search results. Okay, block. Okay, so now I'm going to go up to the settings and go down to blocked rooms and manage blocked rooms. Yay! And unblock it. There we go. Thank you for asking.
There is one more follow-up question to that too.
Yeah.
Because I haven't done this yet, but blocking it, so does that mean nobody else in the room could type, or is that room shut down? Or
I think it's shut down for me, but it's not shut down for everyone else. That's what I'm understanding. Okay. But I think so. I'm the room creator. I'm assuming. So let me check and see. Let's see something. Let me go to the securely rollout one. Let me click block room. So I'm not going to be invited and it's not going to show in my search results. So I know if I block that room is still going to exist for everyone else. And I did not create that room. So that room is going to just keep on going whether or not I am participating in it. So it's the same. It looks like it's the same whether or not I created that room. Let me go back in. So settings, let me unblock. I will have to double check that to be sure, but I'm also looking, I have a second screen up and I'm on the Google Workspace Learning Center page and it's not saying, that it's shut down for everyone. Yeah, it's saying, yeah, you can't delete a room. You can ask its participants to leave, but it's for the person who is using that room. It's up to them to decide how they're going to interact with it. So yeah, it looks like you cannot shut that down. Okay, so I did unblock that room, but interestingly, I don't see it. Let's go down to more. Okay, I unblocked it. But I don't see it on my list. So I'm going to go to browse rooms. Okay, there it is. So I have to actually go back in and click join all over again. Okay, so just because you unblock it, it's not going to appear in that room list automatically. You have to go in and actually add it manually again. And now I see that it's at the top of my room list. Thank you for the questions and the opportunity to figure it out with you. Okay, so pinning. We're on the last 2 topics, and that's one of them is pinning. And it's just one way of keeping the most important chats or the most important rooms right at the top. And what you do is you hover next to the name of the room. And again, look for the 3 dots. And it's in the same menu option as where you can leave or block a room. And that's where you can pin it. And it just keeps it right up at the top, so you don't have to scroll. may or may not be helpful for you. It depends on how many chats and rooms you've got. I know that I have I did for a while have the room that my boss opened up. Like that one was pinned. Any messages, I want it right there. Definitely do not want to miss her messages. Okay, so I'm going to go over the last topic and then we'll hop back into the chat because I want to show you the search. The search is super cool. And this is one of the benefits of collaborating with a team in a room. So, often we share resources, whether those are files, whether those are videos, and, they kind of get lost in email. They might get lost in Drive. We all know how that works. Within a chat, you can search for, messages from particular people and it filters them through. You can search by word and you can search by files. It's awesome. So I'll show you how that works. And the main thing that you just have to remember is that this bar on the left, that's not the search bar. That's how you start a chat, right? The search here is where you want to enter your information. Before I forget, I need to show you how to pin. So if I wanted like my messages with Ennis to show up at the top, then I can pin it. And his messages, like I'm always going to see whatever he sent me immediately. It's right up at the top. And I can also unpin that. The same thing for rooms. Just hover next to the name of the room, click on more and select pin. Done. Okay, so now back to search. So I can search within a room and there isn't really anything in this room. Let me go to something else. So let me go to TTLs. Okay, just because there's a lot more in there. And let me click on the magnifying glass. So it shows all of the members in the room. And if I wanted to, I could select, a particular member of the room and see what they've sent. So I can click on Francie and it's going to show all the messages that Francie has sent. If I want to click on links. So what are all the links that have shown up in these chats? This will show me all of the links that have been shared in this particular chat. This is so great. How many times have we sat there and said, oh, I know I saw that resource, but where is it? I can search by docs, by slides, by sheets. So it is such a fabulous way to just keep all of the resources that you are sharing with your fellow room members. It's all in one place, very, very easy to find. So for just organizational value alone, I really recommend collaborating within rooms. All right, so are there any questions? That was the last topic. Are there any other questions or things that you want me to show in here or figure out before I bring everyone back together?
Darcy, there are some questions in chat. These rooms, can they be used with Google Meet? I don't think so, right?
Google Meet, yes. So what's really cool about, well, let me make sure, because anytime, let me just click reply. Yeah, so as soon as you click to actually type your message, you'll see the video camera here on the side. So there have been times that Laurie and I were chatting, and then she would ask me, do you have time to talk about this right now? I'd say yes. And she would just click meet and look, automatically, it just, created a Google Meet. And then I would just click that, done. I don't have to go to my calendar. I don't have to go anywhere else. I could just click that link. Laurie could just click that link and we're automatically video conferencing.
Cool.
Yeah.
Then there was another question about the creator of the room. That is the person that has editing rights. Is that true?
Yes.
Okay.
That's the person. Yeah, the person can decide to remove someone from a room. Unless you block them, that person can still rejoin the room. But yes, you have editing rights as far as the name of the room. And I think you have masterability. Let me see if I can Oh, I can't check and see, but I'd like to check and see what I can also delete. But I think it's pretty limited.
Okay. And then also, if you're just in a room, you can always just leave, right? You can
Yes.
just uninvite yourself. Okay.
Yes, by clicking the 3 dots next to the name of the room, you can just click leave. And in order to return, you would have to click again where it says find people or rooms, select browse rooms. And if it's not on the list, then you could type in that room name and see if it pops up.
Mhm. And then a couple people just wanted you to show them where to go again to unblock a room after you blocked it.
Yes, it is in the settings gear up in the top right next to the search bar. And underneath the notifications, I know I made a big deal about like setting up your notifications. Yeah, down beneath that, that's where you can see if you've blocked someone. You can click on that. And if you've blocked rooms, click on that, and you can either unblock people or unblock rooms.
I'm sorry, Darcy, quick question.
Yes.
If you are the creator and you leave a room, you're not making the room disappear or collapse or anything. People can still stay in chat, right?
That's, let me try that with my practice room. Yeah, so I can leave. I'm just not going to receive the updates because remember, they do not delete rooms. So I'm assuming that this is still going to work for Darcy's student, even though I'm not participating in it. Does that answer it?
I think so, because I know that
Yeah.
Google, a lot of time, if you're opening the room, then nobody else can get in if you're not there, or if you leave, the room
Oh,
collapses.
no. It's not, it doesn't work like Meet. It doesn't work like that. It's on 24/7.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, I think we're good, Darcy.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Some of these things, like I said, this was a learning curve for me because I've only used it at a really superficial level, just like I use chat on my phone. So I'm still in a learning phase too. And there are probably some things like some of your questions I'm going to want to look up to find out for sure. So I can always add to this slide deck. I know that there are a couple changes I'll probably make after we're all done. But if you, this is the time in breakout rooms to practice. Set up a room with everyone else that's in there with you and try out some of these settings. So have one person maybe set up a room and then that person leaves and then see if the other people can still participate in it. I think that's the perfect time. And then you guys can report back and tell me.